kimu kyonna tuli mu kanyomero akagafulumidde mu mpapula z'amawulire n'emitimbagano bukedde New Vision Daily Monitor weebiri wano bye twagala okutandika nabyo era nga bwe ntandika n'olupapula lwa Daily Monitor olupapula l'Olungereza olwa private oba olubwannannyini olufuluma buli lunaku lwo lutandise bwe luti bakulaga minisita eyakubiddwa amasasi Charles Okello Engola nga bw'omulaba wano abadde yamyuka minisita avunaanyizibwa ku nsonga z'abakozi n'ekikola ky'abantu kakati bagamba ki God from hell. Minister Charles Okello Engola loses his life to the person assigned to secure him. Engola killer was a reject. Reject? Reject. Engola killer was a reject. Akati baga inside biche biri munda wano. Killer bodyguard had been with the minister for only 3 weeks. He was with the minister for 3 weeks. Okay. Lango mourns death of a gentle giant tree, a peace-loving son of the soil. Engola shooting worries ministers, ask for checks on guards. The painful life we go through, drivers, guards, speak out. Emboze eri wano mu bujjuvu olupapula lwa Daily Monitor lubirina Engola's last hours bakulaga ebifaananyi wano bagamba Engola, a giant tree has fallen in Lango. Who says this? Webiri wano ministers last words to Uganda. Ebigambo byasembyeyo wali mu district enda Mutumba ku lunaku lw'abakozi babikulaze wano. Eggwanga lyafiiriddwa kitalo nnyo nnyini ddala. Bakulaze era page endala wano emikongo 5 biri ku minisita ono eyattiddwa. Kano Engola killer had past discipline issues. Yalina empisa yali ayina ebizibu by'obutaba na mpisa before ani ayogera bino bisange wano bakulaga recent shootings ezibeerawo bajjeyo ebya Edward Katumba Amala, Ibrahim Abiriga, Muhammad Kirumira, Felix Kawesi, Muhammad Kigundu, Sheikh Ibrahim Hassan Kiria, John Kagezi, Sheikh Mustafa Bahiga, Sheikh Mahmud Maganda n'abalala. Nabiri wano bakulaga abantu abazze bakubibwa amasasi mbeera eyo ne bafa. Ministers shooting worries ministers. Baminister batuula bufofofo agenti kati waliwo agati bannaye abakuumi bange walidde ku jjiku luno mwana wange wanyudde kacaayi mbu beeraliikirivu bya nsusso akati abakuumi baabwe babayisanga batandise obalabamu omulamwa tibinnyo eggwanga nga likungubaga mwana wange wanyudde kacaayi oliwa leero weetaaga ku kasente mbu byebibuuzo bya minisita bali mu kubuuza abakuumi baabwe biri mu lupapula luno yangoberenga naawe obinoonya. Parliament passes anti-gay bill again. Mwebale Parliament ya Uganda kyaddaaki bazzemu nate okuyisa ebbago lino balisindise wa president okulaba banalisako omukono oba nedda. Speaker, government is lawyer clash over anti-gay bill. Speaker of Parliament ne oli munnamateeka Attorney General Deputy Jackson Kafuzi yabadde mu Parliament bali wana nti bano balemeddwa okukkiriziganya Speaker n'ava mu mbeera omwami ono yamaze kwetoona nga kale osonyiyiddwa adda nga tojja kuddamu ku defendinga bill za Parliament wetonze bakomawo naga kale ojja kubeera nga okola emirimu gyo naffe tuleke nga Parliament tukole ogwaffe. Uganda's AGOA deal at risk over anti-gay bill. Akati n'abazungu no bagenze mu maaso n'okuluma ogw'engulu bafunvubidde nga muliyise mulabe. 20 billion Uganda shillings debt cripples national water. Byonna weebiri olupapula lwa Daily Monitor afulumye olunaku olwa leero. Simon, before we get to the papers you have, 2 key stories in this paper, a Daily Monitor, and I don't know what you think. Story y'okuttibwa kwa Minister Engola n'ekyabadde mu Parliament, the clash between the Deputy Attorney General and the Speaker of Parliament for me, are the key in this newspaper. First, Engola is gone. I've heard police yatugambi yabakanyida n'ogw'okunoonyereza, but when you look at account yaba eyewitnesses yeboogera baga nti omusajja nga tannaba kwetta yagambye sibalinaako obuzibu mu abantu obuzibu mbulina na bano omusaala gwange mukyala wange ali lubuto n'ebirala n'ebirala. Does this speak to something?
You know, you have read and said that in the history of this guy, there's a record of indiscipline.
Yes, according to the Daily Monitor.
That people are speaking about now. The New Vision in part says that the same man had just been fired from the group of Mukula's bodyguards. I think he was part of the Mukula's security, Mike Mukula's security detail. And he was sent away. The question is, were those not enough indicators for whoever deploys to know that this man was not trying to bring closer to the bosses? But I also want to allege that if this guy was with the minister for only 3 weeks, then we must ask the person who deployed him what he considered. Because this is a man who came on a mission. It would appear that the man only came for a mission.
That's what it appears to be.
That's what will be.
Because you've been with the minister for only 3 weeks.
It means that you only came to finish this guy. But because both of them are dead, we cannot hear from them. I also want to think that maybe he really had salary issues. Nobody's talking about that.
You know, why I don't seem to agree with, I don't know, why do I disagree with that narrative that is being peddled? People claiming that he said, abadde bubi nnyo, abadde abanja. Tulina okumanya ani asasula abasirikale bano? Is it individual, I mean, is it their bosses they guard, or it's actually government that caters for them? And if it's government, we need to ask, bamaze banga chinga tebasasulwa?
No. What I have heard, this is what I've heard, this is how our government is running. I have heard from people who have these things that, one, people who have official vehicles fuel them. People who drive official government vehicles fuel the vehicles themselves.
Not government.
A few have fuel cards that they take fuel from a government account, but majority fuel their own cars. Number two, that when you have bodyguards, these ones, the principal they are guarding feeds them and pays them. I said, I have heard. Mirundi is always here quarreling. Mwampa basirikale nzemba sasula motoka nze njitekamu amafuta temugirongosa n'ebirala. I have heard. I said, I have heard.
Do you believe it?
I said, I have heard.
Okay, you heard, but do you believe it?
Keep my word that I have heard.
Yes,
you cannot stop my ears from hearing. I have heard.
So you don't believe?
I have heard.
Does it make sense to you? Does
that
what you have heard make sense?
These people, when you have bodyguards, you feed them, give them allowances, feed them, misana nebirala bwe bityo. Now the issue of salary also, I don't know. I don't know. Salary, maybe these are salaries, no, these are UPDF officers, they get a salary, but maybe allowances. But I have heard people complain, those who have bodyguards complain of the cost of maintaining them. That when you have them, you feel that kind of thing. Because our country is a crisis management country, there is now a crisis. Parliament must now help us sit and review the conditions, terms of this. I think not even Parliament. Parliament must like set on it, but I think the organs within the army Who qualifies to have a bodyguard? What is my role if I have a bodyguard? What's my role on them? Same for those that are casually allowed. If you have a bodyguard and you have gone on a trip, you eat, or you stop around a place to get gonja. It is only human that the bodyguard also gets gonja. Mbulira, in this parliament, when a single courier drivers complaining that some bosses there in parliament are so crude, very archaic, uncultured and uncouth that they don't feed their drivers.
You move with the drivers, or you eat and for them.
The driver drives you to Serena and you tell him, come and pick me after an hour. So the guy drives out, and after an hour you call them to come and pick you. Him coming to pick you on an empty stomach and you living on a full excess stomach.
Spent over 500,000.
Some of those things I cannot do. But this is part of our society. I have heard also of some women who, when they have meat home, they ask the housemaid okufumba webinyebwa oba entula or something else. I have heard such stories. I have heard such stories. Naye nga yafumbye ennyama eno gye mugamba yagenda n'okwoza essowaani. Tulinamu abantu abakopi wano, mange bwe yabayitanga bavuga ne mu kikopo. Tulinamu abantu abakopi bwe batyo. So whether there are three good accounts that one should investigate, are there Engola's enemies who could have hired this man to go and complete this mission through the deploying authority? It could have been, or it could be, that the guy was deployed with an assignment. Go finish that, so that they sort him out very well, because the man waited for the best environment, at home, not on the way. And after that, he was ready with his magazine. He moves around to look for whoever mattered.
And he didn't shoot anyone
And
else.
did not shoot anyone. In fact, the witness accounts depict the guy as a very disciplined person who said, I have no problem with you. My problem with the government, salary, and others. Whether he said that is also another question to ask. Because when you look at the videos, the people are very far away from where this guy was. Because he was shooting. And you know, every time somebody is shooting, you're dispersing to a distance. And the farther away you go, the less inability you have to hear what this man is saying. You are scared. And the man is shooting and running away. Who was he talking to? Was he shouting on top of his voice?
Yes, in the clip we hear him shout. But again, remember, he even walked.
Shouts about salaries?
No, we hear him shout, though the words are not clear in the clip. But remember, this guy also walked to the saloon where people were. And he said, please, mufulume.
The purpose of...
Maybe, maybe these are some of the words he said there.
The purpose of kubagamba bafulume mu saloon, one, he wanted to die in a decent place. I don't know. Two, si adai nawo omukyala gwanoonyawo nga bwe tugamba nti yadde ne muganzi we maybe mu saloon omwo yadde babuza gundi aluwa Lidi aluwa Wakali, I can use my beautiful Doreen. Where is Doreen? Doreen aluwa. But he simply said mufulume. Why did he want to kill himself from that saloon?
That particular saloon.
And not where yakubidde yadde akuba mukama we erimu naye ne yeekuba.
Lwaki yatambudde najja mpaka mu saloon wano?
You understand?
So it means, Sir Simon, based on what you're saying, you seem to say, maybe by investigators, but you seem to suggest that there could be a very huge connection between the saloon where this guy committed suicide and himself. What they
become friends. Waliwo yabadde amubanja, waliwo yabadde amwazika essimu, yabadde achargingira essimu, abadde yakwanawo. Why this particular saloon? But I saw Magamba arrive there. The pictures show that Magamba was there. And I want to give him a benefit of doubt that he will investigate and Of course, we will not get the report. The report goes to the intelligence to the chief consumer. We may not get the report, but
they told us that some of these reports are not for public consumption.
And I agree with them. Let them consume them. For us, what we want is to see things done. I don't know to know what is in the report. I simply want to know that a similar situation does not appear again. Simple. Otherwise, we cannot go. Actually, I agree that if they allowed us to consume every information they have, we would be scared.
No, we don't want to consume every information. What we want is to see the conclusion, the report that is conclusive. Because some of these things, Sir Simon, they concern the public. For example, up to now, we have been asking questions as the public. We are asking who killed all these other topmost people.
You'll get those reports when a government changes. You know, we struggle to divorce ourselves from our backgrounds. Mr. Museveni's government is a child of a rebel, of a rebellion. You understand?
True.
So the rebel traits in the way they do their things remain. Now, if a government of Bobi Wine or Lukwago or Muhoozi came, the story will be different. That their history comes from a history of shouting, public accountability, public showing, gallery playing, and everything. That's not the same story with Mr. Museveni. So if Muhoozi came, if Lukwago came, if Bobi Wine became president, those are too accountable to the population that we want to give you every information because we have put them on demand. The way you see Lukwago struggle and goes on Twitter, you see Bobi Wine always on Twitter, you see Muhoozi always on Twitter because for them they believe that much of they are accountable to the public, so they must look for platforms to do so. Mr. Museveni is a different story. Put if you have a cabinet fellow, a cabinet president, so he's you account to us. But anyway, it's bad news. No one deserves to lose a life, whichever way it was, especially losing 2 lives, a minister and even this bodyguard. But Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, we demand that you sort out this. You know, it is which Parliament, but it's a problem.
Sort out what?
When you tell everyone that MPs earn huge salaries, and the rest of these communities that do a lot of work and sacrifice seem to be underpaid or poorly paid or delayed in payment, you cause some internal dissent that grows and grows and grows, even without our notice. How much does a soldier in Uganda earn? How much does our soldiers earn?
Their earnings differ depending on the rank.
I know, but what's the minimum and what's the maximum? What's the lowest and the highest?
Joe amyuka omwogezi wa poliisi ya Uganda Dewa Kik batugambye nti private, which is the first rank in the military, nduza etugafuye emitwalo nga 47.
Alimba. Alimba. Be it as it is. Be it as it is. Emitwalo 47. Ku private akuuma obulamu bw'abantu atambula ne baminisita bano nalaba nga balina ebisawo by'emmoto by'ensimbi nalaba ebulemu bwe babeeramu bakutula ziddiiru bakwana obuwala kano nakali baswana ne kubwabaga. Really, what is emitwalo 47?
The sentence esokebwako rank esooka mu magye.
Now that's the problem of our country. We have not prioritized where we would have put first priority. Emitwalo 47 nga waliwo ebitongole wano mu Uganda nga aba sweepers, cleaners there. They earn more than $1 million shillings.
Yes.
And you give omusajja ayina emmundu akukuuma akwatira obulamu bw'olunaku lwonna. Baminisita babeera mu mmotoka ennene nga bano bali ku kabangali enfuufu yonna n'ebaggwerako enkuba bw'etonnya bo ebaggwerako. And you are giving them emitwalo 47? Is this country serious? So, The solution is simple. Parliament can help us improve the conditions of these
But Sir
people.
Simon,
If not...
Sir Simon, what should they mind? You know, you're asking, the other day I was with you here in Kugamba,
Idealist. I hear many people call me idealist.
Yes. Oyogera ekintu nga bwe kyandibadde naye si bwe kiri. For example, lwaki ba minister balifuddeyo ko ba bodyguard? After all, minister ba atambulira mu kimotoka ekinene bwe kiti. Buli kyagala kyonna kyetuusaako. Sente azifunanga bw'ayagala. Does he feel anything for
yes,
for
because I have heard sagala kusalaganya bigambo. Nti by character, Mr. Edward Katumba Wamala is a good man. Very respectful to everyone. I have heard and observed. Nti haisa bulungi abantu ababeerewe like that, is friendly, is a civilian, teyegulumiza, tabogola, takola ki. Now you can see how a bodyguard fought at the cost of his own life almost to protect his boss when he was shot. The motivation that, if you describe what happened at that scene of crime, the motivation that this bodyguard had to make sure that, okay, I have lost one life, I must not lose the life of the principal. It's not just something that comes by. You understand? Yes. He could have been motivated by the good conduct of his principles. Sure. Some of these ministers, some of these members of parliament, some of the people, they got arrogant.
Very arrogant.
You hear them, yes, what's these people? But a driver and your bodyguard, there are people holding your life at the time you're moving with them. I have heard of one of the ministers, who I will not mention, eyafuna ekirwadde ndozanga ebigere bimuluma, bigere yalwala, ebigere ne bivunda. So bodyguard nga alina emirimu ebiri. Batuuka awantu n'asooka anyiga amasira g'omukulu. N'amutereezaamu, bakyusa bye bakyusa ne beeyongerayo. Bw'aba taliwo, yes, driver, bodyguard ne personal assistant. These are people you work with, you need them basically, and you
treat them like trash. And again, the other thing maybe which these people forget, much as the bodyguard or the driver, I also have a life. I have a wife, I have children, I have other people to take care of. So the way you treat me matters a lot.
Yes, I don't want to confirm that Private Wilson Sabit had welfare issues, but now that it has been alleged that they should be addressed. Emitwala na mu musanvu mbagamba bana government ya Uganda, government of the Republic of Uganda, emitwala na mu musanvu kuba kujerega bujerezi. Bwabanga this private ayina okusomesa abaana be, tugamba apangisa ne ku nyumba naye aneeyagalako n'aba n'obulamu n'aba ne bweyezimba, emitwala na mu musanvu is a mockery. The money is here kubanga nsaba otology yatugambye nti sente ze tubba zimala okukola ebintu bingi. I would recommend that the minimum that a soldier should get this private at a level of a private, give him 1 million. Give these guys 1 million. If possible, you can even give them 1.5 or 2 million. Therefore, to say, never journalists were reporting on Jetuli, bali mu 2 million, bali mu 1 million, bali mu something. Nabo bali nawe bali. Na yenga bogera mje bakola. No what driver we mitwala 25 omwezi mulamba. Mitwala 25 divided by 30 days. Abakolera mmeka. So you need to
katuwumulemu tujje tova.
Game Popular n'emikutu muganga muka ku Baba TV.